this is our first batch of layers, and they arrived at our house today, but we have quite a bit of problem with one of our others.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, The Purpose Driven Homestead. Today, we are actually broadcasting you from our new location, which I think is pretty cool. I shared with you guys recently that we were moving, and we've now moved over to Eastern North Carolina, which is where my family is from originally. And we're kind of in a new space here. We're trying to get started. And the first thing that we're going to start with is our chicks.
So we have missed our chickens. When we left Ohio, we sold our chickens to some friends that took them off our hands, and we are missing those farm fresh eggs. So as soon as they start laying, we are very excited, but we're going to go ahead and get started with our brooders today.
Now, it's important to point out that we're kind of behind the curve here. We actually started with a hatchery, a couple of different hatcheries, because we were trying to piece this together. We've been moving from the Midwest, where we lived at last, now to East North Carolina. So we actually had a mix-up at the beginning, which was pretty we were really worried, but the hatchery took care of everything. They actually sent them to the wrong address, which was a big problem for us, but they're taking care of it, and they've done everything they can. They've been really awesome to work with. If you guys want to know which hatcheries we used, let us know. We can actually drop a comment in the comments, ask anything that you want about this. But we've got our brooders behind us here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to get these set up for the different types of chicks that we have. Now, what kind of chicks do we have today?
So we have laying hens coming, or that are here, and we have turkeys, and we have ducks that are here, and we are raising them both for dual purpose, so egg production and meat production here on our homestead. So
yeah, we've been blown away by how fast the ducks. We've actually got Peking ducks, which grew phenomenally fast when we had just a small number of them. So we're actually going to use some of those as meat chicken kind of substitute, right? The ones that got delayed for us were actually Cornish cross hens, and so we have a whole set of Cornish cross. What is it? How many we have of those?
60?
60, yeah. So we've got 60 birds coming in that we're going to put in our tractor. Now, if you haven't seen the video on our tractor, I'll link it in the description above, but we built a tractor that we used last year. We've actually got a whole series on Cornish cross. We were raising them in the Midwest. We're going to start those here, but like I said, we're a little behind the 8-ball, so we've got our brooder set up right here, and so you can kind of see our brooder set up right there, and we're going to actually have a couple more of these, but I still got to go grab those. These are we're going to set up. We're going to put them in an old barn that we have, and you can see behind me here, this is the area we're going to have them set up. Now, there's no power, so we're going to have to run drop cords out to here, and so this is where we're going to have them set up in here. I've got to hang some stuff from up above, but that's going to be the build today as we start it. It is super hot here right now. It is, I don't know, 94 or so with a real feel of about 106. If you ask me, it's about 1,006 degrees, but super hot here. I'm sweating already. We're just starting this build today. So we're going to show you more here in just a second, so stick around.
Okay, so while he's doing that, let's go ahead and talk about chicks real quick. This is a barred rock chick that we went ahead and grabbed for our homestead. These are mostly what we're going to be raising here on our homestead. That is because they're a dual purpose breed. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about raising chickens and what the best breed is for your homestead, definitely check out our raising chickens. We'll make sure that that is linked down below. That way you can go ahead and decide for what is best for your family. But for us, we're trying to raise, as I said, meat birds as well as egg production birds. So the barred rocks are wonderful for that, and we plan on taking their eggs and putting them under a Buff Orpington, which are wonderful mothers. They go broody quite often, and so hopefully we'll be a little bit more self-sustainable. We do have those Cornish cross hens that are coming here on our homestead, but we definitely want to make sure that we're able to produce our own meat if we needed to. And so that is what we're doing. We also have some Americanas that we ordered as well, just because we really like the teal eggs that they have. But that is the chicks that we have. We also have ducklings. We have jumbo pecans, which are a really great dual purpose bird as well. And then we have some khaki Campbells that are dual purpose as well, and they're great mothers. So hopefully they can go ahead and hatch out those duck eggs as well.
All right, as you can see, we've got some pine shavings at the bottom here. Nothing too deep, even though we are kind of going with a deep bedding approach here. The idea is that we're going to be adding a ton more as these chicks grow. So there's no need to put a super thick layer to start off with. So we've got 4 of these. We still have a couple more that we probably are going to get, but this is how they'll be set up. Now I'm going to plan to hang some heat lamps from these rafters to keep them from falling in, so there's not as much of a fire hazard. Again, there's no power in this barn, so everything's going to be run out through a drop cord that I've got to run out here, but this should work well. And then we're going to use some old screens, if you can believe it or not. That's what we're going to use then to try to keep these rodent and pest resistant. So hopefully that'll keep it out. We don't really have a problem with rats here that we know of, but we do know we have some barnyard mice, so that's something we're going to need to take care of. Now's a great time to remind you guys, click that subscribe button. Also, give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel tremendously. It helps the algorithm recognize that this is a video that others should be watching as well. Also, if you really enjoyed this, we would love to have a super thanks. You feel free to drop a comment, give us a super thanks. Always helps the channel, helps us grow and do more of these types of videos. Without further ado, here's more of that video. So one thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that we decided about halfway through our process today that we're going to change things. We had 4 brooders set up. We decided to only use 3, and the reason is because we wanted to introduce our chickens and our ducks into one flock together so that they will be used to each other as opposed to doing it later. And now is as good a time as any to try that process. So we know if others have done that in the past and have good luck with it. So mixing ducks and chickens, no issue at all. We decided to go ahead and do that today. That will free up one of our brooders, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So here we have our barred rock chickens and our khaki ducks. Now they look really, really similar right now, but as you can imagine, well, one's a duck and one's a chicken. So they're pretty easy to tell apart, obviously, when we get on top of them, but they're both darker birds from a feather perspective, and they'll stay darker as they mature. But we've got these guys together. They're going to help start getting kind of form one flock. We didn't want to put everything together because from a space perspective, we wanted to make sure they had enough room to grow. Over here, we've got our Peking ducks, and we also have our Americanas. Now, Americanas are the cool chickens that lay colored eggs, which we always think is really cool. So they might lay like a greenish bluish egg. So we've got these, you can easily tell them apart. So the Pekings are those ducks that are kind of the classic yellow fluffy duck. They like to sleep on the side over here, it looks like. And then the Americanas are the chicks on the side. So we've got these guys in here. They look like they're doing well together. Again, they will form a flock that will allow them to kind of, get together, get along, and not have any issues later on. This is our turkey flock. Now, if you're in Eastern North Carolina and you are looking for a pasture-raised poultry provider, please reach out to us. These will be available around Thanksgiving. Now, we only got enough this year probably to get kind of our feet wet and see how it works here in Eastern North Carolina compared to where we were in the Midwest. But we will start raising these if we see that there's an opportunity and people have a desire for pasture-raised poultry. So these are our turkey poults. And that leaves us then our 4th brooder completely vacant, but that's okay because this actually will work out great. It allows us to have a spot for when it's time for our meat chickens to arrive, which are our Cornish cross. Those will arrive, they'll go in here, and then we'll be able to fill that out. And that's going to be next week sometime, so no problem there. All right, guys, that was a hot little project. If you can't tell, this is the only part about me that is still dry. It is incredibly hot out here. I've been sweating the whole time. It's going to be a big adjustment for us to come from the Midwest to back to North Carolina, East North Carolina, where I'm from, and she's from hot Florida. So I think we're going to have to relearn our roots, so to speak, I guess, when it comes to this kind of weather. But we've got all of our chicks now in their brooders. You got a chance to see exactly how we did that. We let the kids kind of put those out. So now, what's our next step when it comes to the chicks?
So we're just going to make sure that they have lots of water, food, keep them nice and warm. Obviously, it's not very hard to do right now. And just continue to check on them, make sure that they're nice and healthy, and that's about it.
Yeah, and so I think we mentioned it before, we've got ducks. Turkeys are also in that set. So what we've got right now is we've got turkeys. We're gonna do the meat chickens, which are coming next week. That was the little delay that we talked about before, where that particular hatchery had a problem. But anyway, they're making it right. They're gonna send those out next week. So those are the last ones to come. So we'll have meat chickens and turkeys that will be ready for Thanksgiving. So hint, hint, you know, if you're in Eastern North Carolina and you want some pasture-raised poultry, give us a call. But that's going to be what we have going on from the meat perspective. We've also got the ducks and the hens that we're going to be doing to build our flock, right? So this is our start. This has been a farm that has been in the family, but it has been crop farmed. We're going to try to bring it back to more of a regenerative approach. We're going to start trying to get some animals out here to build the soil, build the land, and help it kind of get back to where it was 20, 50, 60, 100 years ago. But it's going to take some time. And so that's our journey that we're on. We hope you'll join us for that as we kind of take this little piece of earth and transform it, into something that I think, you know, we really believe in and we're excited about.
Yeah, so obviously we have lots of projects. Definitely stay tuned because we love sharing with y'all, and hopefully you enjoy seeing our journey, and it encourages you to you know, grow your own food if you're interested in that.
Absolutely. We're going to be building hog shelters here. So we've got some stuff that we're going to do. I'll show you some footage of that, where we're going to redo some hog shelters from yesteryear. A lot of equipment here on site that I can show you. I'm going to share with you as well. We're also doing the floor in our tobacco barn so that we can have some additional space to store things and put some equipment. So lots and lots and lots of stuff going on. That concrete gets poured this week, so we're really stoked about that. But I think that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please click that subscribe button. Also, give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel more than you can ever imagine. And with that, we'll see you next time on the Purpose Driven Homestead.
Have a blessed day.
Daddy didn't raise no fool, wouldn't let her date a boy till he taught her how to shoot. Daddy didn't play no games, wouldn't let her trade her name for a fake I do.